Hey, I'm Shauna. Welcome to More Good News Only, the show where we celebrate the stories that uplift and inspire and bring us all together every weekday at 10:30 a.m. and then again at 1 p.m. We are recapping the good news only, the feel-good headlines, the community, local wins that bring a little more light to your day. And I want to hear from you too. So, if something good is happening in your world, a personal victory, a community success, a birthday, or just something that made you smile, send me an email to news25 at week.com. And remember to put Hey Shauna, that's SHAUNA, in the subject line so I know it's for me. I would love to share your good news right here on the show. So today's show is full of good news. For starters, one family is keeping the racing tradition alive and well in their family. I'm going to show you that video now. As soon as we can get to it. Yep, there we go. So, racing remains a family affair for the Gardner family at Dakota Speedway. The family's racing roots date back to 1954. And now three generations continue the tradition. Hall of Famer John Gardner Jr. now works in the pit area, helping his sons John the Third and Scott prepare for their races and prepare their cars. The brothers say lessons passed down from their father and grandfather still guide them even today. Scott and John balance racing with raising their own families while preparing the next generations for the race. For the track. John the Third already says that his daughter plans to race in his current car one day. And dozens of rescued beagles are finally experiencing life outside laboratory cages. This was an interesting story. Look at those little dogs. I feel like they should cue like Sarah McLachlan when he's in that cage. It's not funny, but it is. But it's not because these poor animals were in unfortunate situation, but the good news is they have found foster homes in Green Bay. These rescued beagles came from a controversial breeding facility, and they are beginning new lives with foster families. 20 dogs arrived from Rigland Farms, and this is a facility was previously tied to laboratory testing operations, which is crazy. Foster parents say many of the dogs have never experienced walks. I mean, like, what are you doing? Toys, cuddles, or life inside of a loving home. The Wisconsin Humane Society is coordinating the placement of the dogs across the state, and activists have long protested conditions at the breeding facility, leading to increased public attention and legal action. Another 25 beagles are expected to arrive this week as Wisconsin continues taking in rescued dogs. I don't understand. I really don't understand how they just didn't even walk them. Like, what, did they not care about their health at all? I mean, even if you're doing research in a lab, like, don't you have to keep the subjects healthy? Like, that's insane to me. They didn't walk them. The other thing I wonder is just how well, look at that little dog. Is like, I don't even know what to do here. Like, how I wonder how well they will adapt to their new foster homes and just being around people in the way that they haven't been before. I wish them well. And I think it's amazing that so many people stepped up to adopt them or at least to foster them. It's really cool. That's a lot of responsibility, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of rehab work, so to speak, that has to be done. Well, we'll have more good news only after the break. Welcome back to more Good News Only. So, a paramedic is crocheting comfort for children, child patients to be exact. I thought this was a great story for you to hear about. So, I thought this was really cool. So, her name is Nicole Binnigan, and she's crocheting plus toys while training to become an EMT paramedic. She now keeps handmade stuffed animals inside her ambulance to give pediatric patients during stressful calls. I bet that is a comforting surprise for these young babies. So she says that flashing lights, loud sirens, and emergency crews can be terrifying for children. The toys help build trust, ease anxiety, and make young patients feel safer during the transport. Nicole says compassion and helping others are what inspired her to pursue emergency medicine in the first place. Well, that is an awesome thing for her to do. I like it. Well, I imagine that it probably gives her some comfort and it helps to relax and de-stress her after a long day. I was going to say, I can't imagine having such a high anxiety driven, fast paced job where your adrenaline is high and you see, I'm sure she sees the most unfortunate things ever. And I was going to say, well, I can't believe she has the energy to go home and crochet stuffed animals. But, more and more they're talking about crocheting and knitting and sewing being de stressors, like things that help you decompress. It kind of takes your mind off things. So I think this is really cool. And I'm glad that she's using this skill and her ability to reset with it to give back to children. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that she's able to pull double duty because I know how many blankets can you have laying around? You know what I'm saying? How many blankets can you knit for yourself? I love that she's found a way to comfort children in her job. It's all just kind of full circle and connected is what it seems like to me. It's really cool. So congratulations and great job to her. So there's a program that is pairing college students with older adults. And this is a growing program called Perfect Pair. It's helping combat loneliness by matching college students with older adults. And I'm telling you, I bet they love this. I bet both parties love it, but I bet the older adults truly appreciate it. The idea was started by a student at University of Michigan during the pandemic. The program has now expanded to 35 campuses across 23 states. And I always say it, and I'll probably always say it, but that pandemic really taught me about other people's need for human interaction and connection, how important it is to just the mental health of other people. And I say other people because I like to believe that I am good with I'm good with having human connection and having, friends and stuff. I can't say that I have ever experienced loneliness because I enjoy being alone. And I know that everybody is not as fortunate as that, but so that's the only reason I say other people because listen, I had the time of my life during that lockdown. I've said that before. I'll continue to say it. I had the time of my life. Some of my fondest memories were of the time that we couldn't go nowhere. Nobody could come to my house. I couldn't come to theirs. When they said they were about to lock us down, I grabbed everybody that I was closest to that I loved the most, okay? And we got locked in together so that when it was time to quarantine, we was quarantined together. But, I know it was not that kind of a situation for everyone. But there are people who need human connection, and this program is doing exactly that. More than 40 students and senior pairs regularly meet and build meaningful relationships. The Government Employees Health Association is helping fund expansion into additional communities. So it is definitely growing. Organizers say that the relationships benefit both generations by reducing isolation and building connection. And I'm sure that these relationships also help the older adults stay just mentally stimulated and young. help them keep up with what's going on, help them keep up with themselves, allows them the ability to feel value in their experiences, because I'm sure that what they have to say and the time they spend with these young people is valuable and meaningful as well. Some young people don't have grandparents, or don't have grandparents near, or don't have relationships with grandparents as you would traditionally think of. So I'm sure like the wisdom and the experience that they are getting is invaluable. I think this is a great program. I wonder if we have anything like that here in Central Illinois. They said it expanded to 23 states. So I wonder if we have anything like that. If you know, please send me an email to news25@week.com. Make sure you put Hey Shauna in the subject line, SHAUNA. I would love to know if there's something like this in Central Illinois. Another uplifting story now. A Kentucky man with Parkinson's disease takes flight one more time. This was a touching story as well. So this is a former pilot, and he gets to fly again despite having Parkinson's disease. He's in Kentucky, and his name is Alan Easter. He recently got the chance to return to the skies. Easter, who lives at Walker's Trail Senior Living, has been battling Parkinson's disease. He earned his pilot's license at just 16 years old and served for years with the Civil Air Patrol. I always wonder how because I think we talked a couple weeks ago about a young kid. I think he might have been 16 or 17. No, it was a child, a very young child, who was talented and gifted enough to be taking some sort of flight classes. And he was hoping to have his pilot's license around 15 or 16 or something like that. And I was wondering then how they were able to get it so young, but I wonder if it's the same thing as like having a driver's license. You can get learner's permits and stuff when you're 15 and 16. You get a driver's license, but that surprises me because it feels like being in the air is so much more riskier. But by 16, this gentleman, Aaron Easter, had his pilot's license, and he served for years with the Civil Air Patrol. Staff members selected him for the facility's Live a Dream program, which grants residents meaningful experiences. Surrounded by loved ones, Easter climbed back into the cockpit and described the experience as unforgettable. Caregivers say seeing his joy and excitement made the entire event worthwhile. He said that he always loved being in the air. He loved flying, and he always has. And he talks about in this piece how what Parkinson's disease has just taken from him, all the way down to something as simple, or as we think as simple, as being able to express his feelings and how he felt about the opportunity to fly one last time. It was hard for him to articulate. So some things, sometimes even though we can't explain them, we don't have the words for them, we can't find the words, or we just don't have language for it, it doesn't mean that the experience is any less meaningful or necessary. So I'm so glad he got this opportunity. I'm sure that it definitely brightened his life at this point in it, especially having something like Parkinson's disease, where you feel like so much is being taken from you. I'm glad he was able to get a little bit of that back. Now back on the ground, still seeing double, a nursing school in Missouri has an incredible coincidence. I thought this was interesting. So at Goldfarb School of Nursing, five sets of twins are all studying nursing together. The 10 students say shared experiences and support helps them handle the demand of nursing school. Some twins are inspired by military service, family illness, or growing up around healthcare professionals, and others say having siblings nearby makes stressful exams and first days much less intimidating. Faculty members say empathy and teamwork are qualities that make exceptional nurses, and even the school's therapy dog has a twin. Isn't that crazy? adding another fun twist to the remarkable story. What more good news only after the break? Welcome back to More Good News Only. So, there are three generations of nurses working at a hospital. And I bring this up because, like we talked about nurses the last story, but it's still National Nurses Week. So, I figure we should honor our nurses by talking about them in a positive light. So, Cheryl Schultz and daughter Nikki Schnack yes, sorry, Schnack Schneider, and her granddaughter, so Cheryl's granddaughter, Tara Schnack Schneider, all work at the same hospital. Schultz began the family tradition as a nurse practitioner and inspired both younger generations to pursue healthcare. Nikki says that her mother's guidance helped her grow both in nursing school and on the job. Tara is currently a certified nursing assistant while studying to become a registered nurse herself. The family says caring for others has always been a core value passed down through the generations. We'll keep up the good work to them. Up next, a young author in North Virginia turns recovery and creativity into a published children's book. I love it when I see kids publish books. In Virginia, third grader Jackson Saccone has become a published author after recovering from a serious car accident. Jackson suffered brain and neck injuries during the near fatal crash. During recovery, he wrote a book called Evan the Sixth Seven, inspired by creativity, kindness, and a viral internet meme. The story follows a boy traveling to a magical world where numbers battle one another. Jackson decided or dedicated this book to his teacher at Howard, who encouraged his creativity during recovery. Howard says the young student always showed artistic talent and imagination in class. And finally, this afternoon, new migration data shows that Americans are packing up and heading south. I wonder what for, probably for the warmer weather. So, new data from Penske show, is it Penske? I always say Penske, but I think it's Penske. But they show Americans continue flocking to warmer cities. Houston ranked number one for one-way consumer truck rentals. And for the fifth, they've done this for the fifth consecutive year. We'll have more on this story after the break. Welcome back to More Good News Only. So, as we were saying before the commercial break, when we were talking about the cities that are ranking the highest in terms of the southern states, the people are moving to here. I guess experience warmer weather is what it sounds like. I mean, it would make sense to me to move further south for warmer weather. But this is what they're doing. Houston is ranking number one, and other fast growing destinations include Atlanta, which I don't know how who else can fit in Atlanta. Everybody's moving to Atlanta and been moving to Atlanta for 10 years plus now. San Antonio, Charlotte, Las Vegas, Orlando, Dallas, Austin, and Tampa. Penske Truck says that people are moving for lower cost of living. That makes sense. Career opportunities. That makes sense. And proximity to family, which also makes sense. Every city in the top 10 is located in the Sun Belt region. The company notes that the ranking only includes people using rental trucks to move themselves. So it may not be that these rank overall in the top 10, but as far as people who are moving themselves with Penske trucks, these are the top 10 places or 5 places that they are moving to. So that's pretty cool, and it's for sensible reasons that make sense, especially in today's economy. My goodness. So, well, that is a wrap for me. Now I want to hear from you. Please go to news25 at week.com and let me know what you thought about today's show. In the meantime, be sure to check out all of the evening newscasts and meet me back here tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. for more Good News Only. I'm LaShawna Guy for 25 News. Have a wonderful day.